Hi everyone, and welcome to the Mirror World Mobile SDK. If you're watching this video, you've probably been introduced to the SDK before. The purpose of this video will be to help you guide you through the process of setting up your project account and setting up your SDK so you can actually start developing on your application using the Mirror World Mobile SDK. Alright, so very quickly, I just wanted to let you know what resources that you have available to you. Once you start developing with the Mirror World Mobile SDK, we have a documentation site that outlines all the features that you can consume for the SDK that you are using in your application. As you're probably aware, we have SDK support for both Android, for iOS, for the web, for Unity, and we have a lot of other frameworks that are coming out soon, and we can check those out on the documentation site actually. I'll just go ahead and open it up for you so you can take a look very briefly. Here you can see over on the sidebar the frameworks that we support. You can see the Android, Unity, JavaScript instructions for how to set up right there. Today I'm going to walk you through how to set it up on JavaScript. Great. We also have a Discord community. If you head on over to mirrorworld.fun/discord, you'll be able to join our community. We have team members there that are helping out everyone, community members as well who are using the SDK to help as well. We have a Telegram community as well, which is doing exactly what the Discord group as well is doing for those who prefer Telegram. And you can also follow us on our GitHub at mirrorworld.fun/github. That will push you to a GitHub organization. We have SDKs for different frameworks, and I'm just going to head on over to our organization here on GitHub. I'll zoom in so you can see. Great. So as you can see, we have SDKs for TypeScript, for Unity, for Android, for Rust as well in development, for iOS as well, currently in development. And once those are ready, you will see updates for those on the Discord. So that's why it's extremely important that you join our Discord, because we'll be sending updates there for new releases, for new features that are added, for bug fixes, and also just generally community support. You can find somebody helping building what you're working on. All right, cool. And you can also follow us on our Twitter, that is at mirror_matrix, and we will be sure to support you in case you have anything. All right, so first you're going to set up your developer account in order to start using the SDK. So to do that, you're going to head on over to app.mirrorworld.fun, or if you're on our landing page, you can click the Start Building button. If you're on our documentation site, you can click the Start Building button. This will take you to our developer dashboard. Now we're going to sign in. You can register an account using whatever means, whatever account that you feel is best for you. You could use Google, you could use Twitter, you could use whatever social media, or you can just use email. Since I already have an account, I'm just going to go ahead and log in using Google. And I'm going to use my developer account to log in. And this will redirect me to the dashboard. So once you're here on the dashboard, there's a few things that are available to you that I think you should know about the dashboard. On the left-hand side, you have the sidebar. You can navigate within the homepage. You can view the projects that you have available to you. You can see different analytics, which is a feature that's coming soon, as well as billing as well. Right now, it's free to use, so you can start building. Then you can also head on over to the Help tab here. I think this is a very useful tab. This will give you links to specific resources, like I mentioned before, our documentation, Discord community. You can also explore our tutorials, which we're going to be adding on our documentation site, like this one. You can also explore our GitHub organization. You can create projects, you can manage billing, you can view analytics. So it's really helpful. There's different guides for different things. Or if you prefer, you'd like to use our HTTP API directly, you can click the HTTP API docs, and this will push you to our HTTP API, public API that you can consume. It has the same instructions for setting up the same way that you could set up using the SDK. So if you want to use the API, you can use this. This is something that you can do. All right, so let's head on over back to our dashboard. Now that we are familiar with the features that you have available to you on the dashboard, let's go ahead and create a project. So you can do that by clicking either the Create Project, New Project on the Help page, or on the Help page, just directly click that. Let's say my new, let's create a new one. Let's say my new fancy shiny project, right? And if you go ahead and click the Create button, that will create a new project for you. So if you go to the projects tab, now you can see your new fancy shiny project. If you click that, you will find that you have an API key already generated for you. You have application credentials as well, like your client ID and your client secret. These are sensitive variables that you should not expose to your application. Maybe the client ID once in a while, but your client secret is very sensitive, so do not expose that to your front ends or to your client side. But for this tutorial, you're just going to need your API key. So go ahead and copy it, or you could just save it for now. We can come back and then we'll copy it later. All right, now let's create a new front-end application, a new Next.js app. So for that, we're going to use yarn, create next app. I use TypeScript, so I use the TypeScript flag, and let's name our project. Let's call it shiny fancy project, and then this is going to go ahead and install all our dependencies. We'll be back when all the dependencies are installed and we're ready to start using the SDK. Awesome. So after the dependencies have been installed in our project, we can go ahead and open it up in our editor of our choice. I like to use IntelliJ, so I'm just going to spin up our project in the IntelliJ IDE. I'm just going to go ahead and yeah, so this is our project here that we just created, and it's an empty Next.js app. As you can see, it's just a bunch of content on the home page. If we head on over to the browser, let's just open up a browser. As you can see, it's just Next.js, an empty Next.js page, a new Next.js project. So let me bring these windows closer together so it's easier for you to be able to view. I want to start by taking out whatever we don't need. So I'm just going to delete everything that we have in here. The next thing we need to do now is to install the Mirror World SDK. We can view the instructions for this in the documentation. If we head on over to the docs, I believe that was in this tab. Since we're using JavaScript, you can follow the JavaScript guide. Installation, we need to run yarn add Mirror World web3.js. I'm just going to copy the command and run it in here. This should install the npm package. Great, that was very quick. And the next thing that we need to do to start using the SDK is we can create a new instance of the SDK, and we can create a function that can actually do something with it. All right, so that's good. So let's start by importing it and creating a new instance for it. I'm gonna go ahead and paste that in here. I will cut this from here and put this inside the component in Next.js. And the next thing that we need here, as you can see, is we need to put our API key inside of here. So for that, we need to go back to our dashboard. So our new fancy shiny project, copy the API key, return to your editor, paste the API key. And you can also change the environment that you want your user to be logged into. So if you want to build the application on testnet, let's say you're developing, you just simply need to set the class environment variable to testnet. If you want to target the mainnet environment, you can also change this to just mainnet. In this case, I'm just going to use testnet because I have a lot of testnet tokens, so I could use that to demonstrate that for you. All right, so now we have a Mirror World instance, but we don't yet have a user to use the API key with. So let's define a function that we can then use to log the user in. So for this, we're going to use async function login, and in here we're going to await mirror world dot login. All right. So this returns a couple of variables. One is the user object. So here we have the user. So we can just log the user out to the console. Console.log user. I can see a typo there. Just head back and fix it. And yeah, I think we might also need to define a variable to store the user object so we can actually see the information that the SDK returns for us. So let's create some variables here. So let's say const user set user will be equal to use state from React, and I think we can define the type in here. You can say user, this type is imported by the Mirror World, exported by the Mirror World SDK. Just get some stronger types in there for you, and then you can set the user variable to this user. All right, lovely. So now we have a function to log in. We have a variable to store the user object after they've logged in, but we need to actually invoke this method somehow. So to do that, we need to create a a container where we can display this. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to define a button. We're going to create a button, and in this button we'll call it login, right? With Mirror World. And on click, we want to then invoke the login method, and that will bind the function to this. So the other thing we want to add in here is a display for the actual content that gets returned. So in this case, we will say if the user is available, we would like to render a pre-tag in which we will stringify JSON.stringify the user object. We will indent it so that it looks nice, it looks readable. So for this I'll do null, and let's use 2. There's no replacement function. All right, cool. I think we have something here that I think is reasonable. Okay, I think React is complaining about something, but multiple children were provided. Oh, okay, I think in this case I'm just going to use this, and then in case of that, then I'll just say null. All right, yeah. Our React nerds could, our React experts can share with us more about this. All right, cool. I guess that's it for now. We can now head on over to our demo and actually see it at work. So we have a function here, login, a button here, login with Mirror World. I'm going to clear the console or refresh the page so our console behaves properly through React fast refresh, updating things. I'll click the login button. This will then invoke the login method. Awesome, and let's log in. You can use my developer account, and voila. After that, you have the user's details. Here we have the user's Sol address, this is the user's Ethereum address, you have the user's email, and I think that's amazing. With only a few lines of code, we've been able to set up login with the user's wallet, and we can now here access the other methods within the SDK. You can check out our documentation to learn more. We have a lot of endpoints in the docs. For that, you can go to here docs.mirrorworld.fun, and you can explore the documentation. API reference for the JavaScript SDK has a lot of methods. You can get the user object, you can fetch the user's tokens, the token balance. You can log the user in with email as well. Sometimes you need to use email. In case you don't want to use the pop-up UI, you could just directly log them in with email. You can get the user's tokens, you can transfer tokens, you can create verified collections, you can mint collection, you can mint NFTs, you can list NFTs. There's a lot you can do. We also provide a few accesses, like the transactions. You can get the tokens of a user, you can get the NFTs of a user. So it's a very powerful API, and we will produce more videos to showcase what more you can do. I hope you start using it. We're looking forward to seeing what you build with it. I'm very excited. Yeah, and I wish you a great rest of your day. Have fun building. Cheers.